Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. Got a couple more matches that we need to go through today over in the Cincinnati Masters. Shouldn't take that much of our time. Make sure you get your comments in with your predictions as we go along. Anything that I'm going for personally will be in that pinned comment where it always is. If you want to check that out, you are more than welcome to. You can take it if you want, leave it if you must. It's entirely up to you. And before we get into it, I shall ask you to like the video. If you be so kind, get yourself subscribed to the channel, providing you're not already. It would be an honour, a pleasure to welcome you to the squad. Get yourself involved. Do yourself the favour, you will not be disappointed. We do continue to grow each and every day, very proud of that. You can support the channel as well if you want to. Do not feel obliged. There's a link in the description, pinned comments, you can hit that thanks under the video. Shout out to one of the boys who sent in that tip in yesterday's video. Very, very grateful for that, my mate. Thank you very much. And now all that shit's out the way, first things first. How did we get on yesterday? No dice. Unfortunately for me, very disappointed in what I witnessed from Felix Auger-Aliassime. And although I was disappointed in Holger Rune, didn't keep it as close as what I would have liked, I was more than impressed with Terence Atman. Absolutely fantastic. I imagine we'll touch on him a bit more in tomorrow's video. But for now, you let me know. Did you win? Did you lose? And did you come close? But we'll waste no more time with it, folks. Let's get it on. Very well, folks. Let's get this show on the road. First off, for us today in the Masters, got Andrei Rublev and Carlos Alcaraz. I'm very excited for this. I'm really looking forward to watching this one. I know what you're thinking. It's probably easy. It's probably as easy as it looks. I mean, Carlos Alcaraz, heavily favoured to get this one done. We expect not unless you're getting Rublev around 3-1 as a dog. You know, it's just food for thought. Let me know your thoughts on that. Look, I suppose my question for you today is this. How much damage do you think Andrei Rublev can do to Carlos Alcaraz today over in Cincinnati? Do you think he can keep this within spread range? Do you think he can cover that spread? Do you think the current level of what we've got from Rublev over in Cincinnati is good enough, is efficient enough to take on the current version of Carlos Alcaraz over in the Masters? That's 3 questions, and I apologise, I kind of lied to you there, but yeah, I suppose that's what I've got to ask, You let me know on them. But that's not it, is it? You're probably sitting there going, is that it? I wish. I mean, we've got Andrei Rublev and Alcaraz. What do you think's going to happen? Let me know. Next up, I wish it was that easy. And I know some of you wish it was that quick as well, but unfortunately for the few, that's not quite how we do things over here, is it? We've at least got to talk about it. You would have to assume Carlos Alcaraz is going to get this one done. I'm going into this, with the frame of mind that the majority of us, if not pretty much everyone, is going to assume Carlos Alcaraz is going to win this match. It's the way of the water, it's the right decision, it's the right thought. You would have to assume the Spaniard gets this one done, to say the least. They played each other 5 times before, certainly no stranger to one another. Head-to-head is 3-2 to Carlos Alcaraz, so Rublev has done bits against them in the past. First time out, 2022, Dubai exhibition. It is what it is. Rublev got that one done. Masters Cup, year after that, goes the way of Carlos Alcaraz. Indoor hard court, straight sets. We then go over to Madrid last year on the clay. That one, to my surprise, actually went the way of Andrei Rublev. That's right. Took 3 sets. Dropped the first one 6-4, come back 6-3, 6-2. Happy days. Happy days all around. Once again, towards the end of 2024 Masters Cup, that went the way of Carlos Alcaraz, of course it did. And then most recently, we've seen them play each other over in Wimbledon a couple of months ago on the grass. Rublev did take a set back then. Ultimately, it was the Spaniard that come out on top in the end. Kind of always going to be the way, weren't it? It was kind of written in the stars that was going to happen. Rublev did take a tiebreaker in Wimbledon and then dropped the 2nd, 3rd and 4th 6-3, 6-4 and 6-4. I do think Alcaraz is going to beat him. 1.25, I mean, That's probably as good as it's ever going to get for Carlos Alcaraz, unless he's playing like Jannik Sinner in a final again. But this is the difference in the level. This literally is the difference in the level. Given the head-to-head, I would like to assume, well, I'd like to think, I'd like to hope. I don't think hope is going to be a deciding factor in this one for me today, but I would like to hope Andrei Rublev, given what we've seen, he could probably keep that within spread range. What is that spread? Around 3.5, 4.5? You'd be lucky if it's 4.5. I think he could. To answer the question that I asked before, I do think he could keep it within spread range. More importantly, have I seen enough from Andrei Rublev over in Cincinnati for me to think he can take on what I've seen from Alcaraz so far? And it may come as a shock to some of you, but if you've got any statistic nerds out there, you've probably already checked it out yourself. Andrei Rublev in pretty much every area, apart from one or two, he's outperforming what we've seen from Alcaraz statistically. Anyway, that's not me. It's not an opinion. It's a statistical fact. Go and check it out yourself. I think the areas where Alcaraz is sort of outdoing him, it's not by much. It's like 0.1%. So some may say Rublev is playing better than Carlos Alcaraz is currently over in Cincinnati. If you look at the opponents, he had a bit of a weird one against Demir Djuma, did the Spaniard. Bit of a scruffy performance, bit of a weird game that. 6-1, and then dropped the second set 6-2, come back 6-3. Win's a win, but that's an odd result. On paper, that looks like an odd result. And then Medjedovic, 6-4, 6-4. Medjedovic covered his spread. Yeah, I think that was 4.5 as well. Easy. I was never really in doubt with Carlos Alcaraz on that one. And then last time out against Luca Nardi, we expected nothing less than an Alcaraz win. That's exactly what we got. 6-1, 6-4. What more do you expect? Rublev's looked decent. He's looked decent. I mean, he got it done against Leonard Tien, but like I said, he should never have been beat by him over in Washington. That was quite disappointing. Close game against Alexei Popyrin. Close game. Now, you take from that match what you will. I, for one, think Alexei Popyrin has been playing fantastic since we've came over to the hard courts in the Masters. 2 tie breaks and a 7-5 is what it took. Rublev, he just as easily would have lost that match any other time in the season, you know it. The fact that he managed to see that one through, nice. I'll take that. I'll certainly take that. And then the game against Comesaña, I mean, in hindsight, he was always going to demolish him, wasn't he? He was always going to demolish him. I went into that one with a bit of hope for Comesaña that he could keep it a bit close. Never stood a chance. It became very apparent, very fast, that Comesaña was no match for Andrei Rublev, and rightly so. Even though that performance was fantastic on paper, the result looks really good, but how much weight does it hold in hindsight? I'm not too sure. Comesaña was playing good. I don't want to take anything away from the win. It was a decent win, really good performance. I thought Comesaña was alright leading up until that match, and he looked like absolute crap. Yeah, he looked fantastic against Rally Opelka, which I don't even know what that means anymore. Rally Opelka, as soon as he dropped that second set, you knew what was going to happen. You knew it was curtains. It's a shame, innit? This guy has the stamina of a fucking garden snail. Honest to God, I've seen slugs move quicker than that guy. It's a damn shame. But it is what it is. But that's neither here nor there. We're kind of getting off track. Good shit from Rublev against Comesaña. I apologise. We kind of went off on a tangent there. I don't even know. I don't even think I've got anything. Like, as far as a bet, this is my honest opinion. 1.25 is kind of as good as you're ever going to get Alcaraz. It's as good as we've gotten him all week, innit? Well, since we've seen him since Wimbledon, pretty much. Well, he hasn't played since Wimbledon. This is the first one, but he's been a massive favourite all week. 1.25. If you've got anything else in mind as a parlay piece today for any other, I imagine Carlos Alcaraz at 1.25, it's extremely steep. It's very steep indeed, but I don't know what you've got to do to beat him. I do not know what you've got to do to beat this guy. I'd love Rublev to win. I imagine there's a lot of us out there watching right now that would love Rublev to win this game. We do live in a world where anything's possible, and these guys reside on a tour where anything's possible. Everyone can beat everyone. No one is untouchable. Rublev most definitely stands a chance. And playing the way he's played, not only in Cincinnati but over in Toronto too, I think it could be enough. It could be enough to do something. It could just be. It could be the time. We never really know. But Alcaraz is a different fucking beast. He's a different beast, man. I mean, look at this. I mean, Rublev on the year, 31 and 18. It's decent. Could be a lot better. There's still time, but it could be a lot better. He's been far from consistent this year. 13 and 8 on the hard court. Yeah, that could use a bit of touching up too. Carlos Alcaraz, 51 and 6. 51 and 6 on the season. What on earth is that? Like, are my eyes playing fucking tricks on me? That's ridiculous, isn't it? That's ridiculous how good this lad is. But with that being said, I mean, kind of feels weird saying this, but if you are going to kind of get at Carlos Alcaraz, he has been beat. If you are going to get at this guy, it probably seems like it's probably going to happen on the hard court. 13 and 4 on the hard court. That was pretty much earlier on in the season. Djokovic beat him in the Australian Open. Yuri Lehechka done him over in Doha. Jack Draper done him in Indian Wells in the semi-final, pardon me. And then David Goffin. Do we remember that? Or have we all just repressed that memory? David Goffin, second round in Miami in 3. He was 1.03 to win that game. We'd all forgotten about that one, hadn't we? I most certainly had anyway. That was crazy, but it's neither here nor there. It's just food for thought. Apart from that, 22 and 1 on the clay, 5 and 0 indoors, 11 and 1 in grass. My point being, if Rublev's going to do anything, it's probably going to be on the quick conditions like this. Not many have tried and many have died, but the odd few have managed to slip through the cracks, found a weak spot. I would like to assume Andrei Rublev, playing the way that he is at the moment, possesses enough within himself to at least keep this one close. But I'll be honest with you folks, I don't fancy just sitting and hoping. Going into this just with hope that he can keep this one close. When Carlos Alcaraz, as we all very well know, could just turn up and wipe the floor with Rublev. Easily. We're at that point in the tournament now where the stakes are very, very high. And with an opponent like this, you'd say they pretty much don't get much higher. Andrei Rublev, more often than not, doesn't really perform when we want him to. Or more importantly, when you need him to. And every time I sort of get round to the feeling where, I go, maybe I can trust him. I know what I've seen. I've got eyes. I know what I've seen. He's looking decent. Maybe I can trust him to do X, Y, and Z. He turns up and he just flaps it every time. So I'm out. I would have to go with Carlos Alcaraz. It's not much of a pick. I know. The price ain't that enticing at all. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You dance with the devil. You get your feet burned, don't you? You can't do much against Carlos Alcaraz whatsoever. It's a dangerous game. Tussling with this guy. Not a lot you can do. I suppose we revert back to the very start of the prediction where to say, how close or how good do you think Rublev can do in this match today? If you can answer all them questions yourself that I asked you at the start, you'll have yourself a prediction and a bet staring you right in the face. But I would have to go with Carlos Alcaraz. I'd like to think Rublev could keep it close, but I'm just not so convinced he will. I refuse to sit here and go, you know what, I'm all in Rublev on the points. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him win, but I'm going to have to see it with my eyes in order to believe him. So, imagine what this would do for Andrei Rublev. If he was to beat Carlos Alcaraz, this could be somewhat of a double-edged sword. If he was to beat him, this could just do wonders for the rest of the season, or for seasons to come. You never know. But I'm slightly worried. I don't want to put a downer on things, but I'm slightly concerned that if Andrei Rublev beats Carlos Alcaraz, then I'd be expecting him to beat pretty much everybody else. The expectations would be higher than they've ever been. So I don't know. He's kind of damned if he does, damned if he doesn't in this one, in my opinion. I'm rooting for him. Come on, we all need him to win. We all want him to win. If you're having a go, I hope you'd have a go on Rublev, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope it comes in. I'm going to be wanting him to win this, but as always, I'm never ever against Carlos Alcaraz winning a game of tennis, man. This guy really is one of the best that you've ever seen. He probably gets it done. We'll wrap this shit up then. Got Ben Shelton, Alexander Zverev. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be very interesting indeed. just a moment to appreciate what Ben Shelton's been doing the past couple of weeks, folks. I mean, how good's he been? How good has he been? I'll be honest with you, I think Ben he's been pulling off some shit that I didn't think he was capable of pulling off the past few weeks. I will concede. More than impressed. More than impressed. What he does, we said it in the last video, but what he does exceedingly well. Exceedingly well indeed. I don't think there's many, if any, that are doing the Shelton dance quite like good old Shelly himself. But with that being said, he is coming up against Alexander Zverev, right? And although I don't think Zverev's got quite the momentum coming into this one, the form, you say, not quite the form, but it's not by much. I mean, it's probably like one game less. He's lost one game since we've come back to the hard court, so take the form out of it. I would like to think Shelton's got a little bit more, a bit more hype on him. Fancies himself for this, coming off the title, still going strong. Should fancy himself against Zverev. Has he taken out bigger dogs than this? I can't really remember, but he has been a dog in one or two of them. Most definitely would have been against Taylor Fritz for sure. He's never beaten Zverev before. He's never beaten Alexander Zverev before. He's tried 3 times and he's failed every single time. First time out was actually in this very tournament. That's right, Cincinnati 2024 quarterfinals. It did take 3 sets. Shelton won the first, 6-3, and then it took a tiebreak and a 7-5 for Zverev to see that one through. And then the one I can remember, even though it wasn't the most recent, but it was this year, the one in Munich on the clay. Do you remember that? Remember what Zverev done to Shelton in Munich? Yeah, that was nasty work. He done him up something fierce over there. And they played each other in Stuttgart on the grass. Very close match. As close as it gets, man. I mean, 2 tie breaks went the way of Alexander Zverev. 10-8 in the first and then, 7-1 in the second. Maybe Ben Shelton's just got a little bit unlucky with the draw there. Maybe he's just ran into Zverev in Germany both times and he's been like, you know what? It is what it is, innit? Zverev in Germany. You don't hold it against anyone for losing that matchup, surely. The one in Cincinnati last year, I mean, kind of goes for us a little bit in this one, but I think even since last year, Ben Shelton has improved so much. He's improved so much, he plays a much more professional game now. That's probably how I'd word it. Looks a lot more solid, a lot more professional out there. In the space of just 12 months too. And although Zverev is Zverev, he's undoubtedly one of the best in the world at the moment. I don't know if I could say the same for him. I don't know if I've seen much improvement. The story remains the same for Zverev, doesn't it? And I hate to be the guy that sort of has to mention stuff like this, but he's always just so close, but yet so far. So close, but yet so far. And it's been that way for God knows how long now. And I can't help but sit here and, well, we've been saying it for how long, haven't we? I mean, the slam chances for the likes of an Alexander Zverev right now are very, very slim. Slim to none, you may say. You never say never, but I don't think I've seen much improvement out of him since last year, if I'm being honest with you. Although, that doesn't mean he's been that bad. He's been really good. He's been one of the best. 42-15 currently. That's really good. That's fantastic. 18-5 on the hard court. Shit hot. We like that. We like that indeed. 21-6 from Ben Shelton now. 21-6. Ben Shelton's kind of making it a bit difficult for me to go against him at the moment, folks. I won't lie with you. I'm not going to lie to you. Kind of making it a little bit hard for me to go against him. The form he's in, the games that he's been winning as well. Like the one against Flavio Caboli, alright, it's probably not the best one that he's had since we've come back to the hard court, but that easily could have went either way. Could have went south. He played a decent game in that one. Caboli's done him up a few times in the past before too. Game against Di Minor, straight sets. Game against Taylor Fritz, straight sets. Kachanov in the final. I mean, what more do we need to see from Ben Shelton? The only thing putting me off this one is the fatigue issue, the concerns surrounding the stamina of the American in this one. Going off what I've seen last time against Yuri Lehechka, I mean, I couldn't have been the only one that thought maybe Yuri Lehechka could have posed a little bit of a threat to the current state of Ben Shelton. But absolutely not. Absolutely not. I won't keep you much longer. I will not keep you much longer. Zverev is around 1.7 on the decimal on this one. You're getting Ben Shelton as a slight dog, 2.2. Now, straight off the bat, I looked at this, and as I do with pretty much every Ben Shelton game I go, it's probably going to go over. It's probably going to go over. I haven't been taking them that much. I don't think I've took them at all on the Shelton games, to be honest with you. But I'm sitting there going, Shelton, Zverev. It's going to be a save fest. This one probably goes over. You might get a high total like you always do with Shelton, but it probably goes over it. But I'd have probably said that in the Demon Hall match, and it went under, flew under as well. I'd have probably said that in the Taylor Fritz. As a matter of fact, I definitely would have said that. I would be willing to bet that I did say that in the Taylor Fritz matchup, that one probably goes over the total, and it didn't. The one against Kachanov in the final did. That's alright, that's just the one. You played Ugo Carabelli after winning the title. I was a little bit concerned about the fitness in the first round. He took the first set, and then Carabelli ended up pulling out. Who'd have thought? Done him a favour there. Batista Agut, close first set and a tiebreak, and then 6-3 routine win. And then, like I said, the most recent one against Yuri Lehechka, I thought that may have been his toughest task, but he dealt with that pretty much just the same as what he's been doing with everyone else. Doesn't look like slowing down. Given the form, I would probably have to side with Ben Shelton in this one. Going off the head-to-head and what we've seen, you'd probably say Zverev is more than capable of getting this one done. Say it's a bit too early to say Zverev's got his number. I'd probably say Ben Shelton just hasn't beaten him yet. He hasn't beaten him yet. This ain't one of them matchups, I don't think. Ben Shelton will get one done against Alexander Zverev sooner than later, and it very well could be today. Very well could be today. Shelton for the set. Any takers for Shelton for the set? I imagine you could parlay that with Carlos Alcaraz to beat Andrei Rublev, and you'll get yourself a nice little slice of pie. Could be wrong, but I'd be willing to bet that I'm right. That's going to do us anyway, folks. I shall let you go about your business. Sorry for waffling on. It is what it is, and it's got to be done sometimes. Sometimes there's more to be said about fewer games than what there is about a bigger slate. So I do apologise if I bored the shit out of you. Even if there's anyone left watching, I'd be fucking very surprised if there is. But I'll be seeing you. I'll be saying not good night here. I shall be saying good morning. I will be trying to get some sleep, but have yourself a good morning, folks. Best of luck with your bets. Take it easy, yeah. Fuck, I need to go to bed. I can see it happening. I'm entering the future. Right then. See you in a bit. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe before you go. And enjoy the matches. Good luck. Let me know what you're going for. Don't be shy. Share with the group. Enjoy the tennis today, and I'll see you tomorrow.